Welcome, everyone. Hope everybody's doing well. We're live, ready to talk about this thing tonight. After a big game yesterday at MSG, the Knicks went down. A lot of trade talks swirling. We've got the best fan base in the streets, the best chat in the biz. We're here to talk about it tonight. Apologies for the delay. Had to work through some things. We're on the road, so we'll see how we do. Might be a short show tonight, but I want to get the thoughts of everyone out here, have a conversation with the fan base, the mod squad, Knicks streets. Or as always, the streets are buzzing right now. But man, the Knicks are on a mini skid right now. Poor execution again at MSG, failed to close it out in regulation, right? Ugly play calling towards the end, but some heroics from Jalen Brunson got the Knicks, a great look to win that one in regulation. But again, the coach, Julius Randle, went isolation, didn't swing the ball back to Brunson, and the rest is history now. So the Knicks fall to 2 games over 500, still in 7th seed, 1.5 games over the Hawks still. But yeah, these games are tough right now, right? The situation's going to continue to heighten, right? And we got more trade talks to talk about. The Knicks missed their chance, right? It was a great opportunity to pull that one out. Went down 129 to 123 at MSG, right? The Knicks' home record continues to suffer right now. But salute to everyone in the chat. Will, Luke, Geraldine, Mets, Knicks. Let's go. Appreciate everyone's patience. Jarvis, LaFleur. And ready to have a conversation tonight about this thing. We'll talk about the situation with OG Anunoby right now. Trini, salute. Yeah, chat. OG Anunoby right now. The Knicks are the team that seems to be in the top 2-3 teams most interested in OG right now. And reports say that the New York Knicks would be happy to part with 3 first-round picks right now. That's been detailed a bit more today over the previous days, that the New York Knicks are now willing to part with 3 first-round picks. We don't know how many are protected and how many would be, perhaps if any, unprotected right now. So I'll give you my thoughts on that situation and what I think the Knicks should do. What's the most the Knicks should give up with that situation? Because we know OG would be an upgrade, definitely. The fan base understands. However, right, there's a line to be drawn because, OG's fit has to be considered. He's a role player at the moment. And of course, it's going to cause a little bit of, clunkiness with the current squad as well. And another most recent report earlier today was that the New York Knicks are still looking at Saddiq Beasley. There's been reported interest in Saddiq Beasley over the years since Leon Rose's regime has been in place. So that's reported by Jake Fisher, and that's not surprising to me so far. That's one of the names we've been talking about for a minute. And I do feel like, he's more affordable along that line situation right now. But another name that I want to get people's thoughts on is Saddiq Bey right now. The Knicks and Detroit have history. We did the trade for Derrick Rose. Scott Perry, very well-respected former executive with Detroit and around the league right now. So, and of course on draft night, when the Knicks did that trade, right, where Detroit got Jalen Duren with the draft pick and Alec Burks going to Detroit. So yeah, there's a lot of connections with that situation for Saddiq Bey. We'll talk about those names, Saddiq Bey, OG Anunoby, Saddiq Beasley, as this trade buzz and rumors start to continue to swirl, reports daily right now, ladies and gentlemen. We're at the 1st of Feb right now, and we've got just over a week. So this trade deadline hits like a storm, man. Salute Dirty Dancer in the house. Forget Beasley. I'd rather get Bones Highland. Yep. That's a situation where I'm kind of surprised that Denver are putting him on the block so soon, fam. But let's see. Yeah, if we can get Bones for a great price, that's going to upgrade our bench. Definitely. Trini says OG always injured. 3 is a lot, unless it's not ours. That's a key point that you mentioned, fam. Definitely. First round picks are a very broad term, right? At this moment, it could mean a lot. The Knicks first round picks owned by other teams are kind of dubbed fake first round picks. No one quite knows when they're going to convey as well, which may come to play that the Knicks may not value them as much, with that situation. Yeah. And then definitely question marks over OG's health long term, man. 50 games a year. His record's not pretty at this point in time. But yeah, you guys tell me, what do you think's reasonable? 3 first round picks, if it's maybe the Dallas one, and then it's some of the other protected ones. Let's say it's Detroit, Milwaukee, or Washington's. Right. Let's try and avoid giving away anything unprotected. But man, we know what Masai Ujiri is all about. Sharp Power Ujiri is all about, right? The chat knows what Masai Ujiri is about. Recent reports that teams like Memphis and maybe the Nuggets have some interest in OG right now. So that's fascinating. We'll continue to talk that out tonight. Quentin Grimes named an rising star. Well deserved. Let's give him his flowers. Shout out to Quentin Grimes on the season he's had, in the 2 seasons in the league, earning some sophomore shine right now. He's Q Dot. So that was some good news come through. Salute to Q Dot right now. But yeah, we're all about these names, fam. We continue to chop this thing up and shout out the chat, get their thoughts out here. I'll give you mine. I like OG. I think OG is definitely what we need in terms of defensively with size, toughness. I've been on about toughness for a minute. And, a lot of fan base want to see this team play tough. Having said that, it's not going to move me if the Knicks don't make this move because, like Leon Rose has been doing, he should have a firm price. And if it's too steep, then go another route. The Knicks are most likely going to be a play-in, playoff, first round exit, second round if we're lucky. And OG would be a nice upgrade for the long term too. He's young, 25 years of age, but certainly it's not worth, forking out unprotected picks for me. I think the three first round picks, that's if they're all protected, I would be on board with that. I'd be on board if they're 3 protected picks, and if they want salary filler, if they want Cam, if they wanted to expand and talk about Obi, that's fair enough, right? Remember, we keep our own picks and we keep it moving. The Dallas one, Washington, Detroit, and Milwaukee, I'd be willing to have conversations with. How are you guys feeling? What are you guys thinking about that? Ujiri's Danny 2.0. He was Danny before Danny, man. Yep. The picks are all incredibly likely to convey unless those teams absolutely, yep, in the next 5. Yep. First round picks still have currency around the league. But yeah, it's no need to get desperate about it. OG's a nice upgrade, but we know throughout the season and the summer and the draft night, it's going to be crazy. There's going to be the next dude to come through. I think Shah says we have a better OG in Grimes. Just saying, OG 25, 26, Grimes is 22. So Shah's cool with keeping it, staying pat. What do you guys think about the Saddiq Bey thing? Salute E says Bay's on a better contract. and still has 2 years left. After this one, will not nearly cost as much either. Yep. Well, maybe the relationships, like he says as well, on the money. Maybe that situation with Scott Perry, the New York Knicks, like I mentioned, the former deals that we've been doing in the past, and the relationships that could help us get a better deal. I like Bey. No doubt I would prefer OG over Bey in terms of the player, but I really, really like Bey. I think there'll be another high upside move, another situation where, it would be a talent upgrade with size at the 3, play the 4 some. We need combo size at the 3. No doubt there's more talk about the Cam Reddish situation as well. His camp has been reassured that he'll be found a new home. That's no surprise to any of us. The Grayson Allen thing is a situation where it's looking less likely now that whether the initial reports were accurate or not. The Bucks are resisting including Allen for a Reddish deal so far as well, which never really made sense to me. And a second in Ibaka doesn't make a lot of sense to me either for Cam. I know his value is not really high. Cam Reddish's value ain't that high, but I do feel like it's a situation where we could get better than that. We could get better than that deal right now. But it does look like, Leon's guy is Saddiq Bey and an OG, Malik Beasley. Those are the guys. They're the names that we're hearing more and more and more about, ladies and gentlemen. What are your thoughts on that? Man in the house. Salute, Ron. How we doing, fam? Let's talk about it. OG, you giving up 3 protecteds for OG. Mansa says that I'll do. Yeah, appreciate you, fam. How you been? Dirty says I wouldn't do it for 3 for OG. Only 1 year of control is not worth it with him wanting that bigger role right now. Yeah, that's something definitely worth thinking about. Yep. Fit is a big thing, not just what you're going to give up as well. Yeah, you do got to think about everything. With that said, I'm just sort of looking at OG, the talent, and for what these 3 protected picks would be worth. It would be hard pressed getting a guy with the upside or the talent, the raw talent that OG is. But I have my doubts, just like Will says. I can't imagine that the 3 picks would be unprotected at that point. Yeah, that would be for Cocoa Puffs. Yeah, right. Man, we're dealing with Messiah, with Jiri, with this after all. Also, just I guess it comes down to how much they want to give up. How much they really, really want to move on from OG, and what other deals are available out there. Yeah. If I really thought it would win us the first round this year, I'd do it, but I still think we would fall short. Yeah. That's the tough thing. Yeah, you sort of never know until you make that bold move, man. I really feel like the size and the toughness would really help. Obviously, it'd come down to first round matchups, but to me, the OG thing's probably more of a longer term move. It's more that they're happy with him and they're going to rock with him for the future, and maybe evaluate, fam, as we go along. Yep, let's go. Smash that like button. We buzzing up in here talking about this with the best fan base in the streets, the best chat in the biz right now. That's the other side of the risk too. All 3 of these picks could easily end up pretty good picks. Like the Dallas one was the one I'm probably the most worried about. Protected pick giving up. Because, man, the Mavs might make upgrades, but they might get an injury. The West is going to get stronger as the post-trade deadline hits. And we just never know, fam. We just never know with that situation. Like you said, I like that. I like the way that Dallas pick is looking, man. we might end up with a pick around 15 to 18 range as well. But yeah, Bay would definitely become cheaper as well. Young age, great upside as well. That could be the move we pivot to, fam. But legit reports now, legit connections with the New York Knicks and OG, the interest there and the interest in Saddiq Bey and significant interest in Malik Beasley, reports Jake Fisher just tonight as well. So, that's more of the lower tier moves, as Jake Fisher said. The funny thing is, he also said the New York Knicks, as we know, have their finger in a lot of different cookie jars right now. So Leon has his tiers. He's like OG, probably Saddiq Bey if that falls through, and then some other minor moves with that. But it's clear we need some moves, and it's going to happen, fam. As these games continue to get tougher and tougher, right? The New York Knicks had a prime opportunity to pull a tough game out at home, strengthen their home record, and a missed opportunity in regulation. Horrible play calling again, / read and react situation, right? It may not necessarily all be the play calling, but Julius Randle is in that position to make the read as well. The moment LeBron came over was the right moment to swing the ball back to Brunson. Also, what disappointed me was the fact that 3-4 seconds to go, it's another opportunity where Julius wasn't cognizant of the time remaining. He did a hezzy move and a pump fake. There's just not enough time for that, man. Rise up first time, and if you get fouled, you get bailed out. Yes, Anthony Davis was there, but I thought there was an opportunity for Randle to get that layup up or get a shot off first time, and you hesitate, and it doesn't work out, unfortunately, man. Will says, as far as shot making goes, Malik Beasley is at the top of his list. Salute, Will. Yep. I'm putting that more on a likely move anyway, fam. I think the Knicks can make multiple moves. Yep. Malik Beasley can definitely be had. And the Knicks been long interested in him, man. Long interested in him. Can offer him a bigger role. Bay does bring that size to the wings that Eric Gordon and Malik Beasley are missing. Yep. You hit. So what's a fair deal then, fam? I'll tell you my thoughts on the Bay situation. I told you about OG. I think I could be talked around to giving 3 protected picks and some salary filler for OG, because he's going to have value. You could trade him again in the future in a superstar deal as well. So I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about these picks, the protected picks, so much, because as long as we hold on to most of our own, we're still going to have opportunities to draft talent. But Saddiq Bey should definitely, like the chat's been saying, come at a cheaper cost. Let's keep it real. Detroit are happy to continue to be bad as they bring in more young talent with their picks. There's going to be so many opportunities and minutes to go around for Bay. So this could be a great, awesome time to swoop and maybe pull off a steal and get Saddiq Bey for a protected first-round pick, maybe a couple second-round picks, Cam Reddish, and maybe Obi's name gets brought up. Let's see if we expand that trade a bit more. What do you guys think? Dirty says he'd offer 2 protecteds and Obi. Probably won't get it done, but that's about it. Yeah, that's similar to what I mentioned, man. That's about similar to what I would give up. I would throw in Cam as well. To get a Saddiq Bey, you got to give to get. Even maybe I'd switch that up a little bit. I'd make it 1 protected, 2 second-round picks, Obi and Deuce McBride, and Cam Reddish. Yeah. Obi, Cam, Deuce, 1 protected and 2 second-rounders. if they wanted. I think that'd be a pretty sweet deal for Detroit. And we got to hit on this news that Mance is on point with reports credibly from, I believe, Ian Begley, details an incident at one point before the 8-game winning streak. Cam Reddish approached an assistant coach, expressed displeasure with how he was feeling he was being used, felt he was being misused at that point, right? We don't know the details to how demonstrative it was, or, how maybe cordial it was. So we can't assume, but we can assume perhaps that that's what ticked Tom Thibodeau off, and that's ultimately what led to his demise. Yep, definitely feel like that's a blight on everyone in that situation, mostly Tibbs, like you said, because you got to handle things professionally. You're leading a squad full of young men, and it's your opportunity your role to get these guys, opportunities to air out whatever they're thinking and handle it internally, handle it civilly. To just start DNPing after that situation was tough. Now, after that first Dallas loss, definitely Cam Reddish had some defensive lapses, and you could contribute it to a lot of the play as well. But it does seem like the fact that Cam hasn't been able to see any more minutes, it's gotten personal, which is woeful. He would be happy with the additions of Bey and Beasley. If at all possible, OG will come at too high a price. He's injury prone and isn't game changing talent right now. Yeah. I see it as incremental move as well, fam. That, maybe even a shuffling, maybe you keep RJ longer term still, but you run him with the bench more, or you move Quentin Grimes more back to the bench, right? That strengthens the bench, perhaps. Matchup dependent. But I do have worries over Tom Thibodeau's creativity still, and how he could utilize versatile wings like OG. He couldn't play Obi and Randle together. How would you guys see Tibbs using OG? Let's say we pull the trade off for OG tonight. Let's say it's a done deal. How would you see Tom Thibodeau using OG? Do you think he'd be the starter, RJ or Grimes to the bench? Right? Small ball lineups more, maybe with Randle at the 5, OG at the 4, RJ at the 3, with Mitch out. That's going to be interesting. We still don't know if the Knicks are interested in getting a center. I think if a dude becomes available, that's a buyout or a cheap throw-in transaction. I could still see the Knicks interested in getting a backup center, absolutely. It's been difficult. Sims and Hartenstein have definitely picked up their play of late, but I don't want to ruin anybody's night. But you guys know, in terms of analytically, Mitchell Robinson on the floor, we were the 5th best defensive squad. Since Mitchell Robinson's been out, the New York Knicks have plummeted to being the 27th worst defensive team, right? In the blink of an eye, ladies and gentlemen. You don't get no more ugly than that. Right now, we still need a rim protector. We're keeping it real. Jam Rocks in the house. Appreciate you. Let's go. Tibbs got an issue with that. So which one is worse? What Randle did with that assistant coach, or Cam not liking the way he's being used? Yep. I am full Tibbs out. Yep. Man, it's escalated over the last few days. I think not just because of the Cam situation, but bigger issues, offensively, schematically. Just the way Tibbs is managing the squad as well, personalities. Being a coach is all about man management as well. It is X's and O's, You got to have the squad appreciate you, like you, play for you, all of that situation. We have RJ not wanting to talk to the media last night, which I put down to more frustration more than anything. RJ's still a young king, but I would have liked, I'm not going to get on RJ. I would have liked him to handle that situation a bit better. Not going to dive into that too much, but I did have an appreciation for many former Knicks, the way they handled the media, after big losses, bad losses, dysfunction, all of that stuff. Carmelo Anthony, rain, hail, or shine, always faced questions in the locker room, and the way he handled things was good. He'd say things like, I just didn't have it going. My teammates had it going tonight. You always pick up your teammates, right? It's never about you. So what if the coach benched you? You had a bad game, right? There's no need to kick a tantrum about it. That's just the way I would have liked it being handled. But it is what it is. He's a young guy. He's frustrated. I get it. Not going to get on RJ for that. The benching situation was kind of weird. RJ, whilst he wasn't playing the best game, he definitely deserved to get back in the game. But I'm not mad at the fact that Quickly got that opportunity either. So, RJ just got to come out and just say, I just didn't have it going. My teammate had it going quickly. It is what it is. Maybe he wanted to create more of a fuss, over his maybe some growing displeasure over Tibbs. Yeah. Not that long ago, I say gimme Cam over Saddiq Bey, maybe still. Yep. What's good, John? How we doing, fam? Still Knicks fans in the house. It's time for Tibbs to be let go. No reason for Cam to not be playing. Plus, offensively, they need a punch. Yeah, we have been. Yeah, it would have been a great opportunity against many of these games. I think the Washington and the Toronto loss on the roads were tough. Not playing Cam. Yeah, salute Kaiser. What's good? Regarding RJ, Dirty says, I can't blame the kid. He hits a game winner. Then he gets given no shot. Don't blame Tibbs for going with IQ and Grimes either. Yep. Yeah, look, IQ's deserving of it, definitely. Just sort of came out of the blue, though, because Tibbs did rock with RJ through all the struggles, the slump and all of that as well. But I think desperation's creeping in for Tibbs, right? He wanted to win last night desperately. How can fans support a team with the coach that puts personal issues before the betterment of the team? Yep. It's been going on a minute. Kemba Walker was bad, but he was straight taken out of the rotation, and then Tibbs had to put him back in when we didn't have enough players. But with Reddish, it's been a straight banishment as well. He says at Dolan's interview last Thursday, he said he felt like things were going well. I would be in favor of making moves as well. Yep. Yeah, we might need a mini shake-up in this locker room. Do I think Tibbs has been good at managing a new era NBA players or just the modern NBA game? I don't. Yeah, I agree. Yep. Certainly the tough love is still an element in this game that needs to be there. Like, you are the coach. Like, there are certain coaches that, like Popovich's and dudes, that still have that tough love. But you need to evolve at some areas as well with player management. Like you said, I don't think Tibbs has evolved enough in that regard. So yeah, I agree with that. I think, but my main issues with Tibbs is schematically. Yeah, for us to take that next leap, I really do feel like there's been some things that he's done well this season, but obviously I think most of our success has been down to Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle's exceptional play. Nothing too specific about what Tibbs has done. There is no excuse having iHeart out there with 4.4 seconds left. Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. I agree. Also, getting on dudes for that last second play as well. Cam is 100% better all round than Deuce, better defender than RJ and a ball handler and bigger, yet can guard more positions. Yep. Multi-dimensional right now. Yep. I feel like Cam should have been playing all this time. Do I think he would have, been the long-term solution? Perhaps not, but should have stayed in the rotation, I feel. Yeah. Question to the chat: what year does Tibbs normally fizzle out? Third or fourth year? You hit when he's coaching a team. Yep. I do see Tibbs lasting the rest of the year, though. That's just me. The loyalty that Leon Rose has, the loyalty Dolan has, staying out of the way. The early success has helped him as well, I think, with the record. But best believe in the summer, all cards are on the table. There could be a complete overhaul. We'll monitor it as the season goes, and we'll see what happens. But if a dude like Bob Myers suddenly became available, James Dolan might be willing to make that sweep. If a guy like Masai Ujiri became available, I feel like James Dolan would make that sweep right now. Pissing off one of your main guys doing a tough stretch where you're going to lose a lot anyways is dumb by Tibbs. Yeah. Also, that I think he's trying to show more faith in certain guys too. IQ is his guy. IQ's been Tibbs's guy from the get-go. He said it from the first training camp. He fell in love with IQ and Julius Randle as well. I think Julius Randle's won over an amazing amount of cachet with Tom Thibodeau. Right, he could basically do whatever he wants on the court. I think it's clear to see now, fam. After last night's game, right, we already know what happened, what it is. As we look ahead, the road ahead on screen, we got the Heat, right? Tough game coming up. But the OG talks seem like it's the Knicks' top priority, right? Reports that Knicks are offering 3 first-round selections. We're not sure of the combinations of protected and unprotected as well. We can only assume or feel like what we would give up right now. I said if it's 3 protected firsts, I'm okay with it. But that's where I draw the line. If it's 3 of these protected picks, if Messiah insists on 1 unprotected pick, then I only give him 1 more protected. So 1 unprotected and 1 protected. That's it right now. But it's going to come down to how much pressure is Leon Rose, Tom Thibodeau feeling to make this upgrade, fam, right? They learned a lesson with Spider. Maybe they feel like they missed the boat with that. And they're desperate to make another mini splash. By the season's end, most fans will agree that we should have tanked. Yep, we'll definitely we'll be talking about it all throughout the season, the off-season, draft night. You already know what it is. We still might end up in the lottery, man. There's plenty of games left with the second or the toughest schedule, whichever way you slice it and dice it. I can't look at this road ahead on the screen right now and guarantee a victory. Neither can you guys. None of us can guarantee a victory on screen. Right? We could feel like the Utah one is very winnable. Orlando is very winnable, but can't take any team lightly this day and age, man. Also, the Knicks could be an injury away from getting back into that lottery, Maybe a setback from Mitchell Robinson. Plenty of buzz to come. There's still like 30-odd games remaining. Yep. There was about 2.5 secs left on the clock when LeBron went over to double, and he had his head down, ready to get that bucket. Didn't see Brunson open. Yep, it's been too many times with that late game poor execution. I salute Randle for everything he's done this season. Right, all-star deserving still, in my opinion. But his clear weakness is reading the play in late game situations. Right, we saw it against Atlanta in the playoffs 2 years ago, and we've seen it ever since. Failing to get a shot up as well. That's what frustrates me the most. 4 seconds left. Even if it's a deep three, you got to get a shot off for that situation, man. 4 seconds is plenty of time to get a shot off. Even if he didn't try to drive and he just rose up and shot a deep two with a clear gap, I would have been okay with that. Just over what he did as well, trying to get to the cup with 4 seconds left, it's risky. Not to mention the earlier turnover before that. Not to mention Jalen Brunson had the hot hand, like everybody knows as well. You need some kind of system in your play, because that's what pisses everybody off. If you're the guy that's the hot hand and you're not getting the last shot, then how does anyone feel any sort of comfort with what's going on? What do you need to do in order to get the final shot? So that was frustrating. I knew as soon as it went to OT that was it. Mantis says, I think we should have seen heavy RJ, Cam, IQ, and Grimes, young guns for this season. Yep. Happy with IQ's minutes. I'm happy with Grimes so far. Been happy with RJ getting more reps with the bench too this season so far. But Cam Reddish has obviously been a sunken cost, giving up that first round pick. Yeah, which is tough. Dirty says he feels only committed to IQ for a bigger role when injuries helped him. That's true as well. Yep. Something did change for that to happen. Most of his good rotation decisions have been forced upon Tom Thibodeau. Yep. Yep. It ain't even really about Jules. Yeah, Jules reverts to these on-court habits because that's what he's been doing his whole life. It's the coach to make directions and play calling as well. Also, remember, you guys, this was lost in the madness from last night, but you guys remember the Knicks had called a timeout, had an inbound play under the bucket, and got a 5-second count. Let that sink in, right? We used the timeout in a critical inbound play offensively, and we failed to get the ball inbounds. Well, that's happened too many times since here. It's funny that we expect more maturity from a 22-year-old RJ than we ever would from Jules. Gets to play hero ball, missing a lot of shots. Yeah, I think everyone's starting to get a little bit more frustrated now. You watch, losing causes a lot of frustration too, fam. Yep, in that locker room as well. You got more dudes as well, probably fueling the little divides. You got Evan not playing on the bench too, right? He's probably talking to a few certain guys. Derrick Rose is on the bench for God knows, seems like forever now, not getting any minutes either, right? I think this locker room could be ready to explode at some point. If Tom Thibodeau wants to feel more at ease, they need to move on from some of these guys not playing quicker than ever. Otherwise, it's going to get tougher on everyone involved, right? Having this in the locker room, it's going to be real tough. Yep. Let's offer another pick for Masai Ujiri. What would you give up for OG? Do you want OG with this situation? The issue is these protected picks aren't worth too much. what seems. You know, a lot of people trying to allude to the fact that the Memphis Grizzlies, Denver can put together a better package. So I'm bracing myself for the next in line, which could be Saddiq Bey. Cheaper cost, younger, fills a similar need. What do you guys think about Saddiq Bey with the situation? And then we got other bench guys like Malik Beasley and co, which could be brought in anyway with the assets we have. Yep. Yep. We advanced the ball, so I'm pretty sure we used the timeout. Why did IQ not get a chance to run the team last year over Burks? Yep. That's malpractice right there. Past reports say that Tom Thibodeau likes extra size. One of the reasons he kept Elfrid Payton in the rotation, he liked his switchability, but IQ's proven that he can check his guy now. He can switch. He can do a lot of great things as well. So that's disappointing from last season that he didn't give IQ that chance to run the point, like you said. Did the Knicks run out of timeouts before that last shot? I think the Knicks had one more timeout, fam. Yep. I think the Knicks had one more timeout, and I think that's the one they may have used. Yep. I think we had no more timeouts after that play. Masai demanded and got that ownership stake. He's going to be there for a long time. Yeah, let's see. If not, Bob Myers could be around. Let's see. One has to think about, the timing of this James Dolan media circuit as well. Like, why did Dolan pick this particular time to subliminally reinforce his support for Leon, saying that he believes he's the best guy to bring in talent? Right? Is that a little kick up the behind just before the trade deadline to say, get me some extra talent right now? Because the Knicks have been pretty fiscal, holding on to picks. And then all of a sudden we see these reports now, 3 first-round picks are on the table for OG. Yeah. Yep. I think the Jalen Brunson thing was mainly a Leon call. But yeah, certainly his size, creates a situation where the Knicks need a taller shooting guard and a tall wing to support him, I think. RJ Barrett's defense has regressed, unfortunately. The offenses seem to be coming along. Back to the basket play, slightly better shot selection, more efficiency recently outside of last night. But RJ Barrett's defense has regressed, and pair that up with Jalen Brunson, it's a recipe for disaster right now. We're lucky we have a healthy Quentin Grimes, and we're clinging on to remnants of a player in Deuce McBride who can only defend. Just because we need his defense so bad, we're willing to put up with 0 offensively from Deuce. Yeah. Yes, Tibbs does love attack first point guards as well. Yeah. Get the defense collapsing and then kick out. And yeah, for all of Elf's flaws, he was able to get into the paint as well. That little push shot, that's all he could master up with that situation. That's another reason why Dolan also coming out talking about that the legal side of the situation going on right now. But yeah, the Knicks are still keen on Bey. How much will they pay? I put a big currency on Knicks relationships around the league, willingness to do deals with similar teams. We've done deals with Detroit more often over the last 3 years than any other team right now. Detroit seem to be willing to part with Bey as well. They seem to have put him on the block. So that's a big situation I'm keenly watching right now. But I think Masai Ujiri's just trying to drive up the price right now for OG. He's trying to get that price up there. And I draw the line at 3 protecteds or 1 unprotected, 1 protected. That's it, right? If they find a better deal with Memphis or they find a better deal with Denver or Miami or someone like that, then so be it. But I'm okay with the move in terms of talent upgrade as well. I think we need toughness and we need that size right now. Also wanted to hit on some other names, right? With Saddiq Beasley, Gary Harris seems to be a guy available for the cheap. Mason Plumlee is on the block now, reportedly for a first-round pick. That's going to be interesting. Eric Gordon does lack that bit of size, but brings scoring off the bench. I think Gary Trent could probably be had for 1 first-round selection and some filler. Jay Crowder, there seems to be no interest there. But guys like Terrence Ross, Saddiq Bey, Malik Beasley, Buddy Hield is available as well. Dorian Finney-Smith is a name that I would like to talk about as well. Again, the Knicks have history dealing with Dallas. Dallas would want Cam Reddish. There's reports, there's interest there as well. Extra size, ball handling to relieve Luka with that situation, right? Reggie Bullock, that doesn't excite me at all, does Reggie? Not really too sure whether Reggie Bullock's going to change anything with this team, right? Yes, he can shoot, but he can't really put the ball on the deck with that situation. I think we need to get more multi-dimensional off that bench. Chris Duarte, got no interest in him. Caruso's a dude who could be had and would help this team defensively on the perimeter, no doubt. But I do feel like Caruso is going to be probably need to be had for a first round pick, and that's going to be tough. That's going to be tough with that situation. So yes, man, Saddiq Bey is that name to watch. OG, Malik Beasley, up in this thing, and I really do think the Knicks would entertain a 5-man for a short period of time, right? A bit of a stopgap. Another update with the 30-point games. Jalen Brunson moves up to 11 for the season. So we've got Julius Randle on 15 and Brunson on 11, 30-point games for the season right now. Right. So it's going to be interesting to see with this isolation-heavy play, they're racking up 30-point games like nothing right now. What seems like the Grayson Allen talk is dying down now in terms of connections to the Knicks. Maybe the Bucks have found something more shiny that they want, but Cam Reddish was a name that they were interested in earlier. However, right now, it seems like they're unwilling to part with Grayson Allen in that kind of deal. Right, second and Ibaka, I would like to hope and pray that we can get a better deal for Cam. I'd like to hope and pray we could get a better deal, man. Otherwise, it'd be more depressing with the Cam Reddish situation. Cam might be available in a bigger transaction now if we're keeping it a buck, because it's going to be tough to get anything of any good value with maybe Cam straight up. I'm talking about maybe a likeliness Cam and Obi end up in a package, or Cam and Deuce. Cam and other dudes, other fillers, Derrick Rose, Fournier, etc. right now. But yeah, it was just awful play calling and execution last night again down the stretch. Just very disappointing to have that great opportunity after a Jalen Brunson defensive stop, throwing his body on the line, getting charges like nobody's business. And to have that final shot in regulation and fail to pull that one out was just nothing frustrates me more than not getting the final shot, not getting a shot up when you have 4 seconds left, right? Just flushing a possession down the toilet. With that said, right, the double came. It was a perfect opportunity to swing the ball around as well, but we missed out on that. And the road ahead now, we got the Heat, the Clips, the Sixers, Magic, Sixers again, Jazz, Brooklyn, and the Hawks coming up. And then it's the break, right? This break can't come at a better time for this team, trying to pull out some more wins, right? It's gut check time right now. And they could seriously slide down the standings right now, like David spells out. Facts. The defense salute D cool. What's good? Yep, we chopped up Dolan's interview. Buzzer salute. What's good? What did you make of it? What did you think about it? I question the timing, like always, We always want the owner to talk, the pres to talk. They just seem to pick weird times, wacky times as well. Yep. Weird and wacky times to speak. But I think it was more to address, like we talked about, the legal issues going on, and getting that PR out there that he's using this technology to ban people using litigation against him. Yeah, in terms of Mitch's absence, fam, specifically, I think the Knicks do need better rim protection to keep up with Tibbs' schemes right now. You're getting the feeling we do nothing significant. Don't like all the leaks this year. Yeah, it's going to happen, fam. Yeah, a lot of cooks in the kitchen right now, but a lot of dudes available, like a lot of players available this time. I really do have a hard time thinking that the Knicks wouldn't pull off something. I really feel like they'll pull off something this time, fam. Because there's just so many names. Look at them all on screen right now. We're flush with second round picks and other picks available, and all of that. Whether it's a little minor upgrade just to add some extra scoring. I think Deuce McBride's earned his reps this season, but if the Knicks are trying to win some games, it's time to sit Deuce McBride, back situationally. Yep. You think the play-in was also created the way less sellers at the deadline? Yep. Yeah, definitely. That is a situation. Also, we're seeing a changing of the tide in the league. We've got the Oklahoma City Thunder now that are moving from what they were rebuilding and tanking. Are they now classified as a team trying to win? SGA, Giddy balling out, Jalen Williams, they seem to hit on him. He was a player the Knicks could have selected with their pick, Jalen Williams, Poku, and of course Chet Holmgren out for the season as well. Yep. But salute to the chat, the best fan base in the streets, right? The trade deadline is buzzing. Pop that like button because there's going to be a lot of things to watch over the next few weeks, just over a week to come. in these games that are coming up tough before the break right now. I think we're narrowing down our interest in certain key guys, the major targets that New York's going for right now, with OG, Bay, and of course Malik Beasley, Reggie Bullock as well. The Duarte thing wouldn't shock me either. The situation with Indiana, right? He could be had for a really cheap price. You know, I'm talking salary filler and 2 second-round picks. Chris Duarte could be had probably for cheap. Josh Richardson will be had for cheap. I ultimately think Houston's asking price for Gordon will come down. There's no way a team's giving up a first-round asset for Gordon. Yeah. Also, Phoenix is one to watch, fam, as well. They've put themselves in the OG sweepstakes now. They've got dudes like Malik, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson. They're realizing that the CP3 era could be coming to a close. Yeah. If we don't find a big that can defend, we need one that can get us some buckets. Yeah, I agree, David. Yeah. For once, it'd be nice to have another 5 that could shoot it as well. Ever since KP was here. Yeah. 2/3 of the team get 2/3 of the league get to pretend that they're trying to win some until the very last second, which the rest of the league is waiting on the Raptors right now, on what they're going to do. I do feel like they blow it up. I'd be surprised if they don't. I think there's so much currency for OG. There's so much currency for a Fred VanVleet. I think they'd be in a nice draft as well. That could be the icing on the cake. But we know Masai Ujiri could do whatever he wants with that situation. So let's see. But yeah, a lot of dudes that could help the bench for a second-round pick, right? No one's going to get butthurt if Deuce McBride, in terms of the locker room, Deuce McBride misses out. I don't think he's going to become malcontent. So that's a move that I would expect to see upgraded. But Quentin Grimes, is he hitting a little slump as well? Could they want to move him back to the bench and bolster that with some quality starting wing with size as well? And that is the OG and the Saddiq Bey watch right now. Yep. With that said, the Saddiq Bey watch right now, and the history that New York and Scott Perry, Detroit Pistons, have together. But yeah, I really feel like this stretch is going to make or break a lot of the feel good vibes and the confidence of this team, pushing ahead for that play-in spot. Let's see what happens. The Heat's going to be no joke right now. We need more help off the bench and also bolstering these, changing up the rotation minutes right now. I would get Quickly's minutes further up right now. Get Brunson and Randle's minutes down. Yep. Geraldine, salute. CT, it's been very quiet this year as far as early trade talks. Facts. Yep. We can't trade by ourselves. I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't do nothing. Maybe get Bullock back like Tibbs wants. Yep, I agree, fam. I think whichever deal, whatever we could get back for Cam is a sure deal to make, because we're going to sell Cam no matter what. So whether it's Ibaka and a second and George Hill, like you said, whether it's Reggie Bullock, straight swap for Cam, maybe it's a Josh Richardson or an Eric Gordon. Look out for that, because I think we all know Houston have no use for Eric Gordon, and the Knicks really want Eric Gordon. CAA, he's a Chi-Town native with Derrick Rose connections there. So I really feel like the Knicks are just going to try to get what they can for Cam, first and foremost, and then see what other easy deals out there to be made. But whoever we could get for Cam is a guy that we're definitely going to get in, I feel. Would Detroit be interested in taking a flyer on Cam? let's see. The OG one's the top of the list in terms of desirable for the front office, but first round picks, like Geraldine said, you need a trade partner, right? Gary Trent's also going to be expensive, I feel, right? Just for bench scoring with Quentin Grimes here, I don't think we should be parting with first round picks for another bench piece, right? It should be multiple first round picks to make a starting 5 upgrade, or less assets to bolster the bench. But it looks like, yeah, we don't know if the Raptors took Trent off the table or not. Yep, let's see, fam. Yep, let's get it. But yeah, rocking out on the road. Appreciate everyone for coming through. We'll be on after the game tomorrow. It's going to be another big one. And then, of course, we'll be there Friday night. I'll be on live again on the weekend talking about this situation as we hear more news and more reports, right? A lot of negativity is creeping in terms of the vibes, the locker room situation, right? With players not in the rotation, Cam Reddish starting to snitch, and players close to that situation now starting to snitch, assistant coaches, all of that, right? Tom Thibodeau's job's just going to get more and more difficult as it goes. But in terms of things going well, like I said, I want to shout out again Quentin Grimes, right? Let's celebrate him for this season, rising star situation. So I want to give another shout out to Q Dot. Well deserved, fam. Enjoy the All-Star festivities, Also shout out Brunson and Randle's season to date in terms of their play, scoring 15 and 11 30-point pieces, right? Especially Jalen Brunson's game the other night. But yeah, Julius Randle got to be better in the clutch, right? Executing, and Tom Thibodeau's got to coach better. Yep. As we lost that one, right? 129-123 due to poor execution. With that said, and yes, we'll continue to listen about the Bones Highland move as well. Yep. That's something that could be made right now, man. Like same as Dirty said earlier tonight, right? Guys on the ascend that could be had for cheap, like a Saddiq Bey, perhaps Bones. Yeah. The only guy Dallas got anything out with the Knicks washouts was THJ. Yeah. What do you guys think about Dorian Finney-Smith as well? If he could be had for cheaper, let's see. Yeah, like I said, if you're trading multiple first-round picks, it's for a starting 5 upgrade. If we're just trying to bring in bench help, let's just use Cam, Rose, Fournier, second-round picks just to bring in some extra scoring. Like, we know the big moves are going to happen in the summer draft night. That's just it's not just what we want. It's the easiest thing if you're a front office, You get to go to the summer league. You can talk things up. You can connect, all of that stuff. You can connect prior to draft night, talk things out, and then of course you have the rest of this season to see how your current roster's looking, in the playoffs, play in, how things fare, all of that. But yeah, guys who are malcontents as well are cheap in the doghouse. Like, if you listen to Eric Gordon's pressers, man, he says whatever he wants to say, and definitely Houston want to get out of that. For Eric Gordon, man, I think the price will come down to 2 second-round picks as well. But yeah, Bones will be nice. But yeah, let's pick it up tomorrow. Appreciate everyone rocking out. Peace to the chat. Best chat in the biz. You already know what it is. The streets are always buzzing. Smash that like button, and I'll be with you rocking out in no time. Have an awesome night. Let's chop this thing up again soon as we find, better ways to move ahead as an organization, right? Coaching change on the horizon in the off season, perhaps, right? Better bench play, upgrading that. Emmanuel Quickley's play of late, that's been a huge success. this season as well. So big shout out to Quick again. Let's upgrade Deuce's spot. And perhaps we need to find a new home for Obi as well. Yep. As we hit on, David hits on as well, right? Whoever's the most keen for Obi, let's see. Whether it's a young rebuilding squad like Detroit, Houston, Indy. Let's see what happens with that, right? I'm okay keeping Obi still for the rest of the season. See if we can get something happening. Up his trade talk, his value. But let's see, right? That's it from me tonight. Peace, salute, be well. Let's get it.